But I know you've tried to help organize some other stuff here in GT, and it's kind of been like squashed.
Right, like, you're like,
we got this, buddy.
Yeah, we got this. Yeah. We got it. Okay, so, you got it. You're right.
So yeah, rather than just solely going down that route, we've got some politicians involved now, and
yeah, so they answered the call with
a lot of guys in new seats.
There were,
yeah. So
there's a new senator who used to be an assemblyman. There's a new assemblyman who used to be a councilman, and I don't know what he's an assemblyman. I don't know if he had any other position before.
I think he was just like a fireman.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But either way, they've written a bill which will give us more laws because we can't just enforce laws that already exist. We need more. So there was a press conference held that they're saving us from something. So let's see here. Let's put clip one here.
Good morning, everyone. Just by way of introduction, I'm State Senator Paul Moriarty.
I'm just nobody.
We're here today because 500 young people converged on this park for the sole purpose of creating mayhem and violence. It destroyed a wonderful event that so many people enjoy and have enjoyed every year. And so in speaking subsequently to police and mayors in our district, we have decided that we need to help local law enforcement by providing them additional tools to combat this type of behavior if it should happen again.
Man, it's going to be against the law now to do a flash mob and beat
people
up.
What?
Tase ponies and stuff. Sucks.
Yeah. So they get into like explaining what they said, explaining the nuts and bolts of it, which we had to cut a lot of this down. This was how long was this? It was like 45-minute long press conference. So we cut it down, cut a couple of clips out of here.
A couple of pieces, yeah.
So basically we said you cannot use your, and I understand a flash mob happened, but guess what? They all right, let's play.
Here to discuss the nuts and bolts of that legislation is Assemblyman Dan Hutchison, who is the sponsor in the New Jersey Assembly. Dan?
Thank you, Senator. I am happy to welcome you all here to my hometown of Gloucester Township.
Been practicing this speech, a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. No, it's good. I liked it.
Prior to my time in the Assembly, I spent 18 years as a Township Councilman in Gloucester Township. I am deeply proud of the police force that we have here in Gloucester Township. We are here to announce measures to hopefully curtail the events and the conduct that took place on that day. The package of bills we dropped earlier this week take a sensible approach in holding these individuals accountable without draconian measures. We will create a new charge for inciting a public brawl and organizing an event like we saw. Additionally, alongside Senator Paul Moriarty,
I'm just nobody.
We've introduced a parental liability bill that would make a parent or guardian who willfully or without regard to the conduct of their children, they can be subject to a fine and even charges.
So I don't know what's going on with their audio. They must have like 6 audio buttons and they're clicking different microphones. I don't know
changing. What. I was like, man, Keith really sucks at doing clips.
No, I don't know what was going on with their microphones there, but anyway, yeah, you're not allowed to assemble at all, and parents will be charged if you do assemble.
We talked about this in the GT Observer podcast where we cover council meetings. It was brought up as part of they made an amendments to some of the
ordinance around curfew,
around curfew, and they mentioned loitering, which we kind of we touched on a little bit. It was just I don't know, it's so general. Like I don't know, you just go to a park. Sometimes you just go to a park to just chill out, and you don't have to have a purpose. You're just like I don't know, I just want to go to the park because it's nice outside, and I don't know, it's just I want to walk around or something. I don't really have a purpose. So it's just it's too general for me. But anyway, that went on the curfew part of it for loitering, and I've never liked loitering just to begin with. I just think it's It's an interpretation.
I said that before. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
interpretation.
it's an
Whether you think
interpretation,
I'm
so-
hanging around or if I have a purpose here, that's
When
for
I
me
was young, I went to the
decide.
mall and hung out with my friends outside the mall, and technically we were loitering, but also my purpose was to go hang out with my friends at the mall.
Yeah. So
So-
my problem with this here, what they're trying to push is people are allowed to assemble, right? They're allowed to go hang out in public. You know, there's an event that was put on. I understand. I 100% understand that these kids caused mayhem, but that assembling isn't causing mayhem. There were other things that provoked it. So somebody did an action while people were in one area, which led to something else, which then caused someone else to have a reaction. And these different things were the issue, not that people got together. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but one is not exactly a reflective of the other. And it seemed like this. And I know we're just playing clips here, but it seemed like there was some of this. They were trying to make this like it was like a January 6th kind of thing happened. Like, they stormed the Capitol. These kids, came down here and attacked us. And I don't know all the whole story. I'm not pretending to know the whole story, but there was definitely, talks about, like, the police chief was saying at one point during a council meeting, I think it was, where he was saying, like, we corralled them all into one, area. So if they pushed them all into one area, and then I'm just assuming here,
Yeah.
if the kids got agitated because they were all pushed to one area, maybe something happened, maybe something broke. So we don't know what, any of those details around it, but this whole reaction to it it just seemed off. You know what I mean? It's like there was some kind of like, we're trying to make this crisis be something good to promote ourselves, and we're putting this bill together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not so much of a bad issue. Look, if 500 kids show up out of nowhere to a thing, maybe it's just a wildly successful thing that 500 kids showed up to. You can't prosecute them for that. But I guess
Well, I look at it
once,
as like, what are they supposed to do? Tell me other things that a kid would do in 2024.
if a large group shows up, you can't just say, "Hey, you can't be here because you're too large of a group." It's GT Day. I don't know. Maybe if they all show up and they're all wearing masks and hoodies, you say, "Hey, look, maybe if you want to do entrance into here, I don't know."
All right, well, this
Look,
is
guys.
where, the whole, okay, you need to have safety procedures and stuff like in place. Like, okay, you're not entering in. We have to fence the thing off. We have to have specific entrances. We have face recognition software. There's, camera. Limit the entry points. There's metal detector to go into a council meeting to talk about, to address your government, but yet we can't do that at Gloucester Township Day. There's a security like, I understand if the event gets so big, there are other costs that come with it, like security, public safety. It's one of those things that if you're putting the event on, you need to make sure that the public is safe. I understand this is a fundraiser for that. You're trying to keep your costs down, but guess what? At the end of the day, public safety is more priority than that.
Thank you for checking out that clip from the GT Observer podcast.
For our full episodes, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at Restore GLOTWP. Find us on Facebook.com/GT Observer and also on our website, GTobserver.com.
Thanks, folks. See you soon.